We're just gonna jump straight into the intro.
Let's do it.
You are now tuned in to Respect the Connect. I'm your host, Johnny James, and I'm back again with a few of my nearest and dearest. But as you can see, we're joined by a very special guest. Mayor Tim Keller's in the building. Make some noise, Jason, for episode 127.
That's good sound effects. I like that.
I
just played that in the car. That's good.
It makes for like in your headphones, you're like, oh yeah, this is triumphant.
Yeah.
This is the vibe that we're trying to be on.
I should wake
on
up
a
to
Sunday.
that. That'll be my alarm.
That's actually a good idea.
I mean, I'm half joking on that one.
No, but that's actually, you got to start your day with positivity.
You do,
right?
you do. Absolutely.
So a crowd clapping, the legend has risen, right? He has woken up is the move, I feel. So, I don't know to call you Mayor. I don't know to call you Tim, Mr. Keller. I feel like I'm low-key in the principal's office.
You can do Tim, bro, whatever you want.
Brother. I'm going to call you brother the entire episode. Brother.
That's cool.
Everybody knows me for the brother.
Right.
So like I was telling you, it's funny because the evolution of the podcast, when we first started, I was just like, I called this dude first. I was like, hey, let's start a podcast. I got a great idea. Let's start a podcast. He's like, yep, that's a great idea. You should start a podcast. Not knowing he was going to be on the podcast.
Yeah.
Len Words, I'd already been talking to him like for years about it, right? So we had a bunch of random cameras that didn't even match. They were just ones that we had been using. So we set it up, we recorded, and we didn't know that the cameras were going to turn off at like the 30-minute mark. Like with a Canon, it'll go and then it'll turn off. So we're sitting
You're
here.
still talking.
Still
Best
talking
podcast ever.
Ever. And we didn't record the shit. Episode 1 is crazy. Like we were the lighting was all over the place. But now over episode 127. Crazy. Yeah. It's taken us 100 or so episodes to dial this shit in. We went from the podcast studio at the Pad, we were at Enchanted Botanicals, and now we're at Marble Brewery, sitting down with the mayor. Make some more noise. So Tim, how you doing, bro? How you doing?
Oh, it's, well, first off, it's like October, which is just, I feel always awesome in this town. You name what it is, whether it's Fiesta or just marigolds, the whole thing. And it's fun for my Ivy Young kids. So it's also like there's just all this great stuff to do. But, it's also look at his campaign season.
It is.
So it's 5 against 1. Every morning you kind of wake up, get punched in the face, and then punch back.
If there's one that you could actually box, would you?
Oh,
if there's one of your candidates, if you could set up like a celebrity death match type of move.
Yeah. Ooh. Well, I would tell you, I got to be honest. I'm running against 2 former military people and 2 former cops. So, I like to think I could take them all.
Yeah.
But, maybe not.
That's why I said celebrity deathmatch. Because in celebrity deathmatch, it's claymation, right?
Yeah.
The writers
remember
decide.
that. Yeah. And people's heads fly off and blood
That was
starts
such
everywhere.
a crazy show.
Yeah. Well, I would do all 5. It'd be like the, WrestleMania kind of 5 against 1.
That
thing.
would be
and
low-key.
I'm spinning around.
Yo,
I see
that'd be fire. Animators hit us up. We got some time still to make this happen, right?
Yeah, claymation. It's going to happen.
I agree with you. October in New Mexico is special. You know what I'm saying? You got the smell of green chili just everywhere. Like I took my kids to go get pumpkins yesterday at the pumpkin patch, and they were roasting green chili. And it's funny because the homies are always like, what if we could bottle this and make this cologne? And low-key, I was like, that's kind of nasty. It sounds like a good idea.
I can't believe no one's done that, but it also is.
I agree. But my sister had a better idea yesterday. What about an incense? A green chili incense.
I'd throw it on the fire,
like
or on top of a candle. Yeah. Why don't they have roasted smell?
Way better than a cologne, bro. Could you imagine pulling up to the party smelling like green chili?
You've been roasting chili all day?
Yo,
were you peeling chilies all day?
No. That would be a bad.
Did you even wash your hands after you were peeling all day?
Yeah, but that's important because no.
Well, but then if you wipe your eyes.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever done that?
Oh yeah. I've done it.
That was a rookie mistake you never make.
I'm calling a flag on the play. If you guys ever pull up to my pad and wear fucking gloves while we're peeling chili, y'all getting kicked out.
Oh, this is like a Matanza.
Really?
Do you use the steel paddle or the wood paddle? Do you wear gloves or not when you peel?
Bro, listen.
I have to, bro.
It's no.
You're
y'all
tripping.
fired, bro.
Yeah, you're
fired.
tripping.
I'm not tripping.
Do you wipe your eyes?
I'm doing You just got to be smart.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? Like, just know I'm peeling
You
chili.
just gotta stay vigilant.
Don't put it in my eyeballs,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, same way, I'm driving, I probably shouldn't open my door, right?
But you're watching your cell phone.
I'm not going to admit to that. I'm not going to admit to that. You got your security over here. There's a couple cops. I never drive with myself. Although, every time, look, pay attention, you guys. When we're at a stoplight, just pay attention. Look to the car to the side of you and to the other car. Everybody.
Yeah,
It's sad-
stoplight.
it's sad
I mean,
to
this
see
is tough.
that, dog.
Stoplight. I thought that was an exemption. I mean, I don't know. Is it?
And
It's like,
sometimes,
we're stopped.
Exactly.
sometimes I'm so
It's not-
dialed
it's
in,
not dangerous. I'm not
I'll tell
driving.
my passenger, hey, tell me when the light turns green.
Oh man.
No.
Doing
dude.
bad, bro. Doing bad.
You're just delegating.
That's funny.
So I want to start with music. Let's start with something fun because I'm sure you're going through a bunch of heavy right now. So let's start simple and easy. I know you're a music fan. Like, that's a crazy thing to say, right? You're a music fan. Who doesn't like music? That's the weirdest shit
I've
ever.
met people.
That don't like
Yeah,
music?
just like oddly enough, did not like music.
They
What do
probably
they listen
pick-
to in the car?
I don't know.
themselves breathe?
Talk
really
radio.
This
don't know.
podcast?
I didn't know him that well. I didn't get to know him after that.
You know what I bet you they do, Leonard? I bet you they peel chili with gloves. The people that don't like music drink Bud Light and peel chili with gloves. Bud Light energy.
Non-alcoholic beer.
I'm gonna show. I'm telling you.
They still
Next time, you three are invited. I'm gonna show you guys the trick to go to the pad to get. And this is like pounds of green chili. You don't need gloves, my brother. You
It helps
gotta
to have the
feel
fingernail.
it.
You know,
you gotta
I'm
touch
with you on that.
it. Right?
Yeah.
It's part
And I
of the
do like the way my
process.
hands smell like it the rest of the day. And I don't like the glove smell.
Just don't
But-
poke your fucking eyeball.
Bro, that
Poke somebody else's eye. I'm gonna rub Leonard's eye. Welcome to my house, dog.
Yeah. What's up? Come on in.
Okay, so I got a question for you, brother, and it's interesting, and I think it can show an age gap, right? What's your favorite Metallica album?
Oh, it totally tells you how old you are.
It does.
So it's like Master of Puppets or the Black Album.
What'd I
right in
say?
between.
I fucking called it, dog.
Yeah.
I called it because you're about the same age as my older brothers, right? And when I tell them that my favorite Metallica album is the Black Album, they kind of give me a side eye, like, yeah, of course you like that little softer
Right.
shit,
Yeah.
right? You like
Exactly.
Metallica, like Master. Call me Master. Come on, Master of Puppets
Yeah.
is dope,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
it is
that'd be my first call.
because it is pretty fucking perfect. As far as like metal albums go, you'd be hard pressed to find another one that could take Master of Puppets out. But since I'm about 10 years younger, right? The Black Album came out when I got my first Sony boombox. And Mayor, I'm sorry to say I couldn't afford the album, so I had to steal it from TGNY, right? I felt bad, I did. But I needed my music, dog. And that was the first album that I got given from TGNY.
God,
That says a lot, though. Like, that's the one thing you wanted to steal. That's the
Exactly.
album that was worth stealing.
It was.
There's actually a System of a Down album called "I Stole This Album."
See?
Just as a metal reference.
System of a Down, dope too,
Yes, bro.
right? But
They wanted you to steal it. That was the point of the album.
and I feel like we can't talk about System of a Down yet. That's too far down the line.
It's
right?
true.
So the Black Album for me with Metallica, I went to sleep to that album.
To Enter Sandman.
Man, bro, that was my. I did.
Yeah, totally.
Low, like
Do you
that-
remember the video? Like, there was a truck hitting a
hitting
bed.
a bed and it was his son in it. There was
Yeah.
absolutely no reason
Right.
for that. The video makes no sense. That's why Beavis and Butthead was so important when we were kids, right?
Yeah.
They're still on and they're making fun of like YouTube videos and stuff like that, but it's not the same. It's still funny, but it's not the same.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Beavis and Butthead was important because they pointed stuff out in videos. You're like, why are they
Yeah,
doing this?
like I get the Sandman in the bed, but like a truck hitting the bed. But also, it's still cool. Which is like, it makes no sense. It's kind of the stupidest, coolest thing at the same time.
and in the 90s, cool was everything.
Their videos
was.
were yeah.
It was.
I know
agree.
so many
Even
people.
all kinds of music.
Oh,
like
yeah.
it was crazy how diverse music was back then.
Way more diverse. Now everything sounds the same.
Everything
It sounds-
gravitates.
It
Yeah.
sounds like a computer made it, right? It really, the frequency it's made in really pisses me off. There's a lot of it I can't listen to. I sound like my fucking dad. I sound like it's like the music
sound like a boomer over there.
Sound like a boomer, but it's true, dog. Listen, the music,
it down.
the music sounds crazy.
You should have heard music in my day.
They played real instruments, and there was no AI.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, we're from Mississippi. For some reason, we're in the movie
All
centers,
good country.
right? In my day.
You know, Beavis and Butthead are from the guy. Mike Judge is from here.
Yeah.
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 I think that's why we all related to it so much.
It could be. I mean, his gym coach, the guy, like the people in it were also characters in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Like the English teacher, the guy playing the guitar.
That was
Like I
the
actually
Peace
knew
Love.
that guy. Shout
Really?
out to his name is Phil Zuber. He's still running around.
No
I didn't know
way.
that.
And the football coach is my football coach, Buzzcut.
For real?
Yeah, freshman year. Yeah.
I'm gonna
So
need
that was
you-
at Highland High School,
Yeah.
right? That's
So
where it's supposed to take place.
He moved. Yeah, so he actually started at Pius, and then he Mike Judge, and then he moved to Highland. So he had like it was an amalgamation of like both schools.
Dude, that's crazy.
I'm
My
gonna-
brother was in his class, and they said like he was always in the back, and he was really quiet. And then they saw Beavis and Butthead, and they were like, he was just making fun of us the whole time.
the whole time. He was
entire
drawing this
time.
cartoon the entire
yeah,
time.
just sticking it to us.
So I'm gonna have to call in a favor. If you could plug in that Mike Judge
Hey, so
conversation,
I want to
let's
actually
go.
get him here. So we can do this together.
Let's do this.
Because I won't out the family member. I know a family member, and I know he obviously like loves Albuquerque.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to get him here. We should have Mike Judge Day. Let's
That would
do
be
it.
Oh,
awesome.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's
I'm in.
do
I'm in.
this.
That's
Y'all
cool.
heard it here first. Mike Judge Day. That's so fire, bro.
Like, why not? I mean,
I
he is
love
one
it.
of the most like recently successful, creators or producers that's from here, and why not celebrate it?
And Beavis and Butthead is still on. It's still relevant.
It's
My
crazy that
son-
it came back.
Paramount Plus, they be doing their thing. My son, he's like, I'm like, dude, like so much of it. Like now, I'm like, bro, I can't watch 3 episodes of Beavis and Butthead. Dog. What are we doing
Yeah.
here?
I get a little bored.
I'll watch one with you, but like I grew up watching it. So like if you've seen one episode, you kind of know where they're all going, right?
Yeah.
But it's still funny, right?
Yeah.
I gotta, as a music fan, I just have to. The way they had their shirts, it was like AC/DC and Metallica, but then their younger friend who like wasn't cool, he had a Winger shirt.
Yeah.
Which is just so funny.
It's
so perfect.
such a subtle shot, right?
Yeah, totally,
It's
totally.
funny because again, I think this shows my 10-year age gap. And I know people are probably going to come for me in the comments, but they're going to come for all of us in the comments. So who gives a fuck,
Hey,
right?
you put me on. Get ready
Yeah,
for the
that's
trolls. I
troll-
come with trolls. You're gonna get hundreds, and they all live in Texas.
You know what's funny? We've been talking about this. This has been a conversation for the past 3 episodes, right? If you have a platform, what are you using it for, right? Like, are you using it just for clicks? Like, are you using it just because you want to be cool, like you're in the 90s again? Because, again, back to the cool conversation. I know
when I
so
peaked.
many people,
Definitely peaked in the
right?
90s.
But I know so many people that, like, held on to that. Like, they never stopped, right? Like, they're 50-year-old dudes that just still want to be cool. It's like, bro, grow up, my dog. Like, we can still be cool without trying to be cool. Like, I had to turn down, I'm not going to put them on blast, I had to turn down a business opportunity, right? And the first thing they told me when we sat down, they said, how can we look cool? And I went, ooh, we're starting
your
on
start.
the wrong foot, dude.
Yeah.
First off, you're never going to be cool now because that's what
'Cause
you
you
want to
said
be,
that,
dude. I know that that's your objective. Damn, you just became the most uncool person on the face of the earth, right?
And I think that's the middle school question. Like you're growing up, and of course, like because you maybe want chicks or
Yeah.
whatever, and you're like, how can I be cool? And then you hopefully
You should have
kinda
told them,
figure
just
that
change
out
your
a little
hair.
Just change your hair.
bit. Change the way you dress.
I'll tell them,
Those
you know what?
shoes?
Can you do something about your face? It's like,
Fix your face.
fix your face first.
Fix your face, bro.
Yeah.
Like, start with that.
So, Mayor, you come with
Can you
trolls.
plug me in again?
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I kick you out?
They just don't want you to hear the questions, dog. This is crazy.
The
Look
good
at
thing
the
is I can
producer.
still hear you, but it's like I'm
muffled.
in the closet, like
Yeah.
outside the party.
Hey, bro,
but
let's
I'm
make
listening
sure-
in. It sounds like really cool. Can I come in?
This is a good conversation. I wish I could hear it and be a part of it.
Yeah. Speaking of
Jay.
not cool, but I'm in the other room in
Yeah.
the ears.
See what I'm saying?
I'm not cool enough to get in.
These guys
now
are
I'm
like,
in.
"You
You let me in.
No, you-
All right.
yeah.
All right.
Back.
Look, you're cool. You're back now.
I'm cool.
Which is good because
Thanks,
now
guys.
let's talk about the trolls, right? Let's talk about the trolls
Mm-hmm.
because that is, what made you say, you know what? I want to pick the job that everybody's going to throw shots at me for. Like, what drove you in? Like, what? This is my thought process, right? Like, what person in their right mind, not saying you're not, wakes up and says, you know what? I got a good idea, dog. Let me run for mayor. What made you say that?
Oh man. Well, I got to tell you, the full true story does go back to Beavis and Butthead.
Love it.
In this way, I have always been a government dork. So when I was a little kid, I used to watch C-SPAN, like when I come home from school.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, that's crazy.
And Transformers, and G.I. Joe.
Had to throw in the Transformers.
Yeah,
too.
and Thundercats. Still love Thundercats.
That's a 10 years difference.
Right, you're like, what's this guy talking
Power
about?
Rangers, dog.
Yeah, see, I mean, yeah, I missed it. I missed it. So I was watching The Real World by then.
I was sneaking the real world in there.
We're totally dating ourselves
Yeah.
in terrible ways. But the thing is, as I got a little older, I mean, I would actually, like in high school, I would come home. I used to work at the beach water park.
Yes.
And I'd come home and like, I would watch government TV, which is like the most boring of government TV levels.
Pretty much.
This is city council, The Naked Man. You know what I'm talking about?
Uh-huh.
He's still on. I remember watching
hold on.
him like
He's
when I was
still
a kid.
on?
He is
Yeah.
still on.
How
In fact,
that's crazy.
He signed my petition for mayor this year. And he was
Full circle.
not wearing a shirt. He was wearing pants. He does wear pants, just if you guys know what I'm talking about.
Not just
and he's
the
so
shorts.
tan, though. And he's like a fountain of youth. Anyway, so Don Schrader is his name.
Yep, Don.
Shout outs to Don. Guy's legendary. Anyway, the point is, I wanted to, be in city government since I was a kid. That's the short story. And my neighbors knew that. My high school friends know that. Like, I just always loved, weird stuff about the city, how you build stuff, what's going on at the city. So it took me a while to kind of own that because I avoided that impulse for like 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
And then it was weird, but somewhere in my late 20s, I was like, I moved back home and I'm going to try and get a job in government. And no one would hire me. I tried city, county, and state. I couldn't even get a single job. And that's when I was like, well, I'm just going to run for office because I can't actually work in government. So I'm going to try running for office. That's how I got started.
Wow. Honestly, that makes more sense than just a random person saying, hey, you know what? One day I'm going to just go. I've been this oil tycoon. Now I'm going to go and take a job that people want to hate me all the time for, right?
I mean, Liz the troll, I have a lot of fun with them in a sense that some of their memes are funny. I mean, they're shout outs to the trolls who at least have a sense of humor. And they constantly do because I still love to throw the football with like pathetically like an old man. But the ones that keep doing the guy from the Napoleon Dynamite movie, Uncle Rico.
Yeah,
Oh, they got you. They got you as Uncle Rico
me all the time. Uncle Rico throw into a camera. You know, I don't know if you remember
That
scene.
is, I bet you.
Still
That
trying
is
to get
funny.
tape.
Bet you
And
I
I'm
could throw
like,
this football clean over them mountains.
That's right. That's right.
You know what though?
I still can.
The
Wait,
funniest
what?
Uncle Rico moment is whenever Napoleon's driving up and he throws a steak and he hits him in the face. That shit is legendary.
They say that was improv.
And then he's like, "You should have put me in, coach."
You
or
know
something,
what?
something like that. Yeah, all would have been different.
You should definitely do something for your campaign where someone drives up in a bike. Maybe they could look like one of your opponents. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, there you go.
Your
Yeah.
opponents.
Yeah, one of my opponents.
They're
And I hit him
driving
with
up in a
steak,
bike and you hit
like
them with
a burger.
steak. Listen, I won't even take credit, dog. I won't even charge nothing, bro. You
That's
can
a
have
good
that one
idea.
for free.
Run off. I'm doing it. It's also though like I like the guy like it was a good piece of steak. I was also just saying
It was like a porterhouse.
Yeah, right.
He slapped it in the face with a giant, but it's because they were right next to all the cows. Remember,
Yeah.
they're right next to the slaughterhouse.
Oh, yeah,
Remember
yeah.
the kids pulled up in the bus and he blew the brains out of the cow?
Oh, that's right.
They were right next to the slaughterhouse. Why
a
are you
good
looking at
point.
me crazy,
That's a
Len?
good
Where'd
point.
you
He's
haven't seen
right.
Napoleon
He's right.
Dynamite?
I've seen it. I don't
But then
remember
Napoleon
that part.
picks it up after he throws it. Now he's wondering like, did he eat it? He just dusts it off. It's like such a good steak.
He hits him right in the face with it, bro. The trolls, like, I'm sure, like when I go look, like I have zero political aspirations whatsoever. I am not political at all, so I'm like dead center. I can watch both sides and I can laugh at all of it and I can be upset by all of it, right? The critics seem to come for you about crime, right? Do you feel like where have you gotten there since you've been mayor, right? Like, is there things that you feel like you've done good? Is there things that you feel like you need to work on? And if you get elected again, what's your plan of attack, bro? Like, where are you going to hit it?
So I will say this: the funny thing about the trolls, because you asked a serious question, I'm happy to get to it. But
it starts there because I'm sure they're all in the
trolls.
It starts there.
So these guys, I will put a post up about fighting crime, and they will troll me for not doing enough on crime, or like I'll put a post up though about like celebrating our city because like fundamentally I love our city. Like you have to have, it's my hometown, and like you have to have like a deep love for the city. I think if you're gonna fight through the trolls and the hate and everything else like that, for sure. And anyway, I could say like happy birthday to like whatever my wife or something, and they troll me on crime. Why aren't you doing more on crime all the time? Yeah. So
seriously, that's why I asked it.
Because they're ruthless. They're ruthless on crime.
If you go and try and do any kind of research, right? Which again, I'm not Barbara Walters, dog, right? I didn't invite you on to be fucking Barbara Walters, right? Like I did a little bit of, research with what pops up, and the most stuff that pops up is that, right? People, no matter what, coming for your neck, right? Now I know you're running again. I thought to myself, like, okay, they're saying he hasn't been hard enough on crime. How, like, can you convince the voters now to vote you back in if like that's the first thing that everybody sees and starts popping up in the feed?
Yeah. This is why I'm glad you asked. So basically, here's the thing. First, when I came in, first off, APD was falling off a cliff. So the police department, we had huge issues. We were wrongfully shooting people. I mean, this was the consent decree. And the DOJ came in and took over our department. And officers were leaving in droves, like by the hundreds. And I walked into this, not to blame someone else, but I did walk into it, and we had to rebuild a department. So the first thing is like you got to get a police department that works again. So now we're able to hire more officers. Like officers are up by 20%. We got out of the consent decree because we earned our way out, and we did our best to get back to constitutional policing and all of these things I can touch on if you got more questions. But then everyone's like, okay, well, crime. Look, we have fentanyl. Like, let's just be really clear. Also, like mayors don't like. The idea that somehow there was some policy that created more crime, I actually think that's totally not true. Like it's a rough town. It's been a rough town for a long time. But when you add in the challenges we used to have in APD plus the rise of fentanyl, that's when crime goes like, whoosh, So it's going up for 10 years. And then the answer everyone says is, well, we need more officers. And I actually about 4 years ago, I said, first off, I don't think it's just that, but also it's impossible to just fabricate officers. You can't just like wave a magic wand. Like there's 200 more
People
officers.
just sign up.
But that's what a lot of people say. They're like,
just
go,
get more.
you got to get more officers. Yeah. And the funny thing is I said that. That's why I know. Like I said that the first time I ran. That's what I ran on. But so you have to fight crime a different way. So this is the answer to your question. I decided we're going to use technology and civilians. So I put up cameras everywhere, which may have gotten a speeding ticket.
Landlords did for sure.
Remember, if you get 3,
do I just send that to
booted.
you? Can I send that to you? No.
So the idea is we're going to use technology so that we free up officers to fight crime. So that's why like a speed camera is a camera, not an officer, so that officer technically can do other stuff, whatever it is. It could be another ticket somewhere else. But like we got to free up officers with technology, and the biggest thing is gunshot detection. So now like my whole life, it's like I hear gunshots and you call 911. It's like I heard gunshots behind my house, and they're like, well, where? And you're like, well, I don't know, somewhere behind my house. And then it's like, when? And you're like, 10 minutes ago. That doesn't help fight crime. So now we've installed gunshot detection, and this technology is crazy.
Those are really, really
cool. It
cool.
can hear and find a gunshot within 40 feet. And the exact time and the number of rounds and the type of gun.
That's wild.
So we have this technology platform, and now we read your license plates. So that's why you see everyone taking their license plates off all the time. And we also, so the long story short is basically this. In 20% of the city, we have this crime fighting technology platform. And in that area of the city, like if you shoot someone, we will find you and we will arrest you and put you in jail. And that is because we hear the gunshot. We know where it happened. We get the casings. We run it through a database. We know who owns the gun, if the gun was stolen. Then we turn on the cameras. We see your car. Then we follow your car on the cameras. And then we read your license plate and we show up and we arrest you. until we got that set up, there was only a 50% chance. Like 5 years ago, there's a 50% chance you get away with shooting someone and killing someone. Yeah. Now
That's
it's like
wild.
95% chance if you shoot and kill someone, we'll catch you.
From 50 to 95 just with the gun detection technology.
All of it together.
So the license plate reading, so everything that you've installed.
Cameras, license plate readers, gunshot detection. Yeah, NIBINs.
How long, are you seeing okay, someone gets shot? How long is it before you guys are usually able to find the person that did it?
So that's such a good question. And, not to bring it down, but we had like a kid shot coming out of the, Isotopes game.
Yeah, that was a nightmare.
Yeah,
we were right down the street. We got put on lockdown at it was a football game at one of the stadiums right there, right? And we got put on lockdown too when that happened. I mean,
the Muslim shootings, we had that guy targeting Muslims. He turned out to be part of the Muslim community. But anyway, the answer to your question is now it's usually within hours, usually. Sometimes it can be a couple of days. And that's when I make the decision also to go on camera and usually ask people to help us. Because I'll say we know when the gunshot happened, we know the suspects in a blue Volkswagen, and tell us, I remember doing this with the Muslim shootings. I said, tell us, community, like Albuquerque, help us. I want you to call in every blue Volkswagen Jetta that you see. That is how we caught the Muslim shooter.
Wow.
But we knew it was a blue Volkswagen Jetta, and that's because of the cameras. And then we had the evidence because of the casings. So that's why the guy got convicted. So anyway, the other side of the equation I just want to touch on is civilians, because that's important too. So now we created something no other city has, which is the Community Safety Department. And it's so if you call 911, and it's a behavioral health or a mental health issue, we send a social worker, not a cop. And this is also because first off, they're not trained for that. We want someone who can actually help, but also it frees up the officer to go fight violent crime. So that department has taken 150,000 calls that EPD did not have to take.
So that's a lot of mental health crisis. That's another,
does speak to the issues,
right?
We have.
It does. That's another part of when I'm thinking about our city and about our state, but our city specifically, right? You're just seeing how much of it goes back to mental health, right? Because I've been around drugs my entire life, right? When I was a kid, I used to use a syringe as a squirt gun, right? So that's how in tune I am with what has been happening down here. I'm 40, brother. So this is 40 years of this type of stuff, right? And I say this all the time. You can have a bunch of systems in place, right? But the only addicts I've ever seen stop was when they really wanted to stop, bro. It starts, a lot of the people I know goes back, that's why I brought it up, because mental health, right? The beginning, some people started because they wanted to party and everybody was doing it, right? But that's a small percentage of the people that I've seen. Everybody I know that has ever been super strung out, it goes back to mental health, right? And it makes me think that that's the foundational piece of the crisis, right? It goes back to how well people are doing mentally. And once they get in this cycle of, okay, I'm not doing well mentally. Well, this makes me feel good. This makes me feel good. Now I'm doing it so much that it's making me feel bad and I can't get off it. Now I'm stuck, right? It seems like that's for me, it's a big issue. And it seems like a lot of these people don't know what to do or where to go. Or same thing, we don't know who to call or what to say, right? 911, there's some, no, that's not an emergency, that's a mental health crisis, which is an emergency of a different kind, right? So when I look at it, every single time I've seen someone get clean, it's not because, and I'm not saying don't go to rehab or do all that stuff, because that can definitely help. I'm not saying don't do that. But in my experience, it's always a mental health crisis first that makes them start. Right? And the only time they ever stop is when they want to. Fundamentally, in their soul, want to stop using. And it's sad because I know I wouldn't want to be in the position to make some of them decisions, right? Because there's not one answer. And I'm sure people kind of look at you for one answer fits all.
To fix it, yeah.
And is there one answer?
Right. That's what I think when you look at TV commercials or politicians talking, right? they want to sell you that there's one answer.
Right.
And that's what I've, especially now I'm trying to say, like, that's what you learn on the job, which you just said, which is sort of obvious, but people forget it, man. It takes every answer. So I have like 9 answers to how to deal with addiction. And there's probably 20 that we need. I only have 9, but I'm acknowledging it takes 9. It's not just like one thing.
Not one.
And especially because like they're connected now with the way, there's been new drugs, right? That's not a new thing. Like there was the crack thing, and then there was crystal meth, and now there's fentanyl. But like fentanyl, the connection between, you've got underlying trauma. All right, thanks. It's like drifting away from me in kind of like a ghostly way. So I appreciate you. Like,
Jay did it.
yeah, there we go.
Better?
Nice. It should be good. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, nice. Oh, look at it.
Like
Which
it's
one is
dancing.
it, Jay?
It's dancing.
That's wild, bro.
Isn't that? I know. This is like one time I was at a grocery store and those automatic doors, they just closed on me.
No way.
Like
Like
a
ours.
woman like walked out and they opened, and when she
think we
walked
got
out, and then I walked out, and they just like, it was like the thing didn't see me, like I didn't exist for a minute.
Yeah.
That
It just
happened
straight
to
up crushed me.
That happened in The Simpsons.
What?
Bart sold his soul to the devil, and then he you remember that where he like walked up to the door and it was like it wouldn't open.
Look, that shit's still
See, that's
floating
crazy.
away. Look at that.
Damn.
It's-
Wait, I can like,
It's
just like a
tilted.
magic trick.
Chad's just gonna have to stand there.
Just what if you throw some gaff tape on
I
it
can
for
I can
now?
actually hold it. Like I can be like, I'm good.
We'll
Chad,
gaff
Chad
it
will
up.
fix it. He'll gaff
gaff
it.
it up.
So, okay, where were we at before the microphone?
Well, we were
just
talking about
very
addiction.
rudely
Yeah.
interrupted.
Multiple
All right.
solutions.
Multiple solutions.
So multiple
Yes.
solutions, and so one is like, so this department, the community safety department, what they're trained on is what you said in that we try and catch people if that's the particular issue. We know there's a certain time in even the cycle of like, getting your hit, crashing. We know even in the cycle of that, like twice a day, if we hit someone in the right 30-minute cycle, they want help. So it's somewhere between getting angry, ready for the next hit, and coming off the high.
That's a short window.
Yeah, and this is what they like study and research, and so they would respond to your crisis differently depending on where you are in that window. And so anyway, but these are the kinds of things that we've put in place, and it used to be, I remember when we started, everyone was like, that is just the craziest idea, and everyone was like, oh, and they always say like, well, you need to send police and a social worker. We have that team for like deep crisis. But this is something different. We just send the social worker because we don't want to trigger anything. And also, like, we want to make sure they can quickly transport and things like this. So anyway, it's actually been one of the, there's not a lot I can say this about. So when there's a win, I'm going to take it. It is the most innovative thing that I've ever done and that we've worked on. And we're leading the country in it. We're the only one in the country that has a full service 24/7 emergency response by social workers connected to 911.
Wow. I mean, I can't think of a better place for that to be used, because I really do feel like a lot of this, and I know there's going to be people in the comments, oh, mental health, everybody wants to use mental health as an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's the truth. There's people that are suffering from things that you can't see, right? And they don't understand the parameters of like how they're conducting themselves sometimes, right? So the answer isn't always, let's pull up locked and loaded and try and handle this situation.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna probably trigger a response that could have been avoided. And I'm sure that's not always the case. Again, not everything is one answer. It's not one size fits all, bro. It's not one size fits all. So again, going back to that, like that's a very hard position. And sometimes I feel like it's probably a thankless job, right? Because you're in a position to where people can constantly throw rocks at you, right? You do good, they're gonna throw rocks at you. You fuck up, they're gonna throw rocks at you. So no matter what, you just gotta be ready for them rocks to fly, right? And you've been mayor for a while, so have you gotten used to it?
Well, I'll tell you, one thing, just to let folks know what we're seeing, and this is in the last 9 months, we have seen every crime category start to go down.
Holy shit.
But they're coming down from an all-time high, right? So none of us feel safer. Like I got to go take the kids grocery shopping after this, and like I know in the parking lot, what I may or may not deal with and that kind of stuff. But if we can keep doing this for another couple of years, we are all going to feel a difference. There's no way when you see all those numbers start to go down, if you do that for several years, we're going to notice that the town is getting much better.
What have you seen the biggest decrease in?
Actually, auto theft is down like 23% over a long time. Violent crime is down about 14%. So, they're not meaningless numbers, but it's not like, 90%. I mean, but those, and even this year so far, homicide is way down. We're at like 55, whereas I think last year we were about 74 at this time.
So you think the uptick came right around fentanyl?
That's definitely in the combination of that and COVID. So COVID and fentanyl, everything went down because of COVID. Because like for a while, everyone was like, whatever's the whole COVID thing. But when we came out of COVID, we had massive fentanyl, and then just retribution beefs, right? So it's like it's a low level drug deal gone bad, or someone doesn't have enough money, or someone's out of fentanyl, and now with guns everywhere, like that just turns super violent right away. But to your point about I think what's funny about this town, like that I do love, there was a mayor, I visited him when I was in 8th grade, Mayor Saavedra. Very few people remember this guy. But he had a theory that the mayor of Albuquerque's job was in some ways just to be like, sort of like a punching bag. and he was like, just people feel better, man. Let them yell at you, and then they're going to be like, thanks, bro. And I do think this town, like usually, if I walk down the street, which I do, I mean, all the time, and, I'll get 2 people who will honk and be like, hell yeah. And like one person will throw the metal horns, 2 people just be like, sup, Keller. Mm-hmm. And then like one guy's going to flip me off. And so
sure. I hate you.
Yeah, totally.
Your videos suck, bro.
Yeah.
You haven't done nothing from it. Like,
totally.
I was trying to equate it to some of the stuff that, as I hate the word influence, as a creator, we would see in the comments. But as an actual public figure that's in office, you're seeing these people sometimes. Like, you're seeing them face to face, right? So
all the time.
There's a difference between being a troll on the comments and actually looking at you as a person and being like, you did this or you should do this and da-da-da-da. So it's definitely, I could see that as being a punching bag, bro. Like, I could see people like looking at you as the end all be all solution.
Yeah, like
right?
even for problems that are like international problems.
Yeah.
They still go after you for it. But I think what's cool about our town, I will say this, it has been true, just like Mayor Saavedra said. They actually, then they just respect you for just being
taking it
part of the city.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, all right, you know what, actually, you're doing all right. Like, I appreciate that you're working hard and you have real ideas. After they've yelled at me for like 5 minutes. But actually, it's okay. And, to be honest, they don't yell. They're just harshly complaining.
I like that. I'm going to use that.
Yeah. So,
stop harshly complaining in my comment section.
So I do have to say, like, and I think the town, I actually think it's a special relationship, actually. I find it like, and then they're also always great, like, they do let you off the hook. They're like, okay, all right, man, I know you got to like, you're like shopping, you're with your kids. So like, I'll see you later, and they're great. So the community is actually really good about that. But they're very respectful in a way. Like they'll talk to me like close so I can hear them, and they'll be like, what are you doing about whatever, And they're like, but I know you're with your kids, man, so I'll catch you later. and actually, like, I'm like, you know what? That's okay. Yeah. I'm like, that's part of being, all mayors are like literally it's the job where you are with the people, because like you live in the same town, you're constantly there. So I think it's actually also what I love about being mayor is just because we're all in it together, man. Like, I'm in there right with you. My kids go to public school, so we deal with all those kinds of things, and we're all living here together every single day.
Like, at the end of the day, that's cool. It's like, I feel once we all try and get on the same page, I feel like everybody wants the same thing, right? And when they don't see some of those things happening, right, to their standard, to their likeness, or whatever the case is, who do I point the finger at, right?
Yeah.
Where do I go to channel all this anger?
The one elected official you see, like,
100%.
out on the street, yeah.
And going back to which I would assume is a huge issue, right, is the persistence of the homelessness, right? So, like, what do you feel you've done right, and what do you feel like you still need to work on with the homelessness crisis?
So I'll answer both in a sense of maybe what we did right first. When I came into office, I was really surprised because when I came in, like homelessness, like Coronado Park existed already. It was already like a thing, but it was nothing like it is now, not even close. So, but when I came in, there were two groups of people who were like, you have to build a system to help the unhoused. And one group was really the business community. Like the Chamber of Commerce had studied this. And then so had also all the folks who actually help the homeless. And what they had identified is that our city is classic Albuquerque. Like for 40 years, our answer to somebody on the street was get on a bus and go to Joy Junction. That's like literally what we said. That was our policy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
The city didn't take care of a single person on the street directly, and 24/7. Like we had some contracts with great nonprofits and church groups, but like the city, we never grew up somewhere in the 80s when we should have done this, like every other city. We never created a system to help the unhoused. We never did it. So the good thing that I did was I did start on that, even though it wasn't like popular. I mean, it wasn't like this huge thing that everyone was clamoring for. I started on that right before COVID, and we finally got some of the facilities and things like right after COVID. And so we're playing catch up for sure. But we have something to build on. And so, and I can tell you too what I would do differently, but I think there's like there's groups of people who are like, oh, those people, and they just say this, like they should be arrested or they should be whatever. Well, like first off, that's illegal. Secondly, like it's not illegal to be homeless. These are people. And
so it's illegal to just arrest them.
Yeah, totally. Now, if they're doing drugs, you can arrest them. And we do. That's like the other myth is people like, oh, you don't arrest people for doing drugs. That is not true at all. So anyway, then on the other side, there's people who are like, you should just leave them on the street. But like they're preyed upon. They're trafficked. And especially with drugs on top of that, they're preyed upon. And so I believe that we can do better. I believe we should actually offer them help. Right, to me, but that is the hard answer because you have to. So what is help? So the answer to your question is I created this thing called the Gateway System, and it's only half done, but it's like a series of different types of places where people can get help. So we have like the Family Gateway where families that are on the streets go. We have a giant one on the west side, which is unfortunate that it's so big and it's but like that's the Gateway West. We've got 700 people living there every night. And we have then I bought the old hospital in Gibson. That's the Gateway Center, and that has medical sobering. So it has like some detox. Then we have the Recovery Gateway, which is where I got my driver's license when I was a kid, the old DMV. Now it's pallet homes and people recovering from addiction and coming out of incarceration. And we're building a youth gateway because we have so many unhoused teens. So the long story short is now we take 1,000 people, we're able to get 1,000 people off the street and get them help. And then you got to find housing for them eventually. So we have housing navigation centers. So, but this takes years to build, man. I mean, I'm working on 40 years of trying to fix stuff. So what I would have done differently is number one, I would have moved much faster and bigger. And that's where there's a lot of disagreement. People are like, oh, you invested all this money in the homeless. I'm like, it's the number one problem, that and crime. That's what we should be investing in.
Those are the two biggest ones right there.
And my only regret is not investing more sooner. I mean, I would have gone all out during COVID if I would have known what was happening after COVID.
It seems like I'm catching on to a common thread here, brother. And there's three things that you keep mentioning, right? You keep mentioning COVID, you keep mentioning crime, and you keep mentioning homelessness, right? So do you feel there's a direct correlation between what COVID potentially did to us as a city to where we find ourselves now?
So there is definitely, I think, part of a connection, but there were some things that happened in the same era. So like right before COVID, we closed all our behavioral health centers. This was like a couple of years. It was
right before COVID?
The past governor. No, it was a couple of years before it. So we used to have like all these nonprofits that help people with behavioral and mental health issues. Yeah. And it was, I forget the exact, maybe like 7 years ago. But my point is this. What happened is in the short term, those people just had nowhere to go. But in the long term, when homelessness started going up and fentanyl started going up, there was nothing. There was no relief valve at all, no services. And so now we're slowly building those back up. But those two things, at least within a 4-year-ish period, like they started colliding at the same time. And then the timing of fentanyl.
It all hit
So,
at the same time.
when I came into office, it was all about meth, and we were all talking about Breaking Bad. That was only 8 years ago.
It's true.
And it was really after COVID when like meth exploded. So it wasn't COVID like the disease or the virus, right? It was what happened during COVID.
What it did.
And somehow meth exploded.
I mean, during that time.
I mean,
Fentanyl.
I think during that time, right, it did feel for some people, right, bleak and hopeless, right? Like, is things ever going to be the same? Is our state ever going to open up? Can I go to Walmart with having to stand on an arrow?
Remember that?
Right?
That was crazy.
Can I remember distinctly because I was moving and grooving during COVID. I was the one. I knew I was going to get it first. I had to. Like, there was no other way around it, right? I mean, I took my precautions, but I had to travel. I had to do what I had to do.
Most of us got it, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember distinctly the first time, like, I was able to go to Walmart, like, really, and it was like there was a certain amount of people that were allowed in Walmart, right, at a time. And I hadn't been around a lot of people, right? And everybody was masked up. And I heard someone cough from like the front of the store, right? And everybody froze. It was like, oh shit. Like it was a fucking biological weapon had just went off inside Walmart, right? So again, back to the mental health, right? That goes to that because and I like how you said there was no relief valve. There's gotta be, because when that pressure boils up, people can crack, people can break, right? And again, if they find some sort of relief, right? Hey, there's this little right here. Look, you can take this right here. It'll make things all cool
For $1.
You know what I'm saying? For $1. Find relief for $1.
That's a good sales pitch.
It's especially when you're going through something like that, right? So I could kind of see the thread. I could see it tying in.
Fundamentally, it's about trauma, and I think what COVID was is traumatic, right? Like, and so that is certainly that timing. For others, it's about the trauma that they've dealt with maybe in their family or in their own lives. So there's like different paths into it. But certainly COVID was like a shared trauma. And then we had the other like challenge of our city is we were 20,000 housing units short. So we knew that like rents theoretically could get really high, but 20,000 units is like, that's a lot of units. So the point is what I'm getting to is like, then there were all these price pressures. Remember there was like all the inflation and then rents went up like 50%.
Yeah.
And so again, these are all putting pressures on people, like pushing people into the street. And so now, I mean, we're trying to we close down the drug hotels and we turn them into apartments. We're trying to take like those empty office buildings like on San Mateo and Central, we're converting that into apartments. But those take years. I mean, those are like 5-6 year projects to do that kind of construction and all the incentives and stuff like that. So anyway, there was also this underlying housing issue that also is driving, like exacerbating the poverty and the trauma.
Man, that it's a really fucked up situation, bro. And I have close family that is out there in the streets, right? So I'm closely acquainted with everything that is happening on a base level, right? I've seen it all, right? I've lost a bunch of friends to fentanyl that was accidental overdoses, right? They thought they were doing something else and they ended up doing that and they never woke up again, right? So I would say about, what was it, fellas, about like 3 months ago, we went and, because I'm a part of the new Tas No Mas, to keep my state clean.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a part of that campaign, right?
Which we need.
Yeah, so we went and we hit like the roughest part like of Central. Like we were right there on San Pedro and Central. And like there's one thing to like drive by and see someone on the corner and see the piles of people. There's one thing to do that. There's another thing to be out there, boots on the ground, picking up trash while they're there doing everything that they're doing, right? Like we went in this alleyway and it was wild because there was like about 100 syringes stuck in the ground. I told Leonard, I was like, hey, be careful. And he didn't even see it.
Yeah, they do that for like safety.
Yep, they were all just stuck in the ground, right? These guys got a beer. Cheers.
Awkward timing. Awkward timing.
Yeah, that was
I know, right?
That was strange timing.
Like a party foul.
Yes. But it was very again, like I said, I'm closely acquainted with what's going on, but actually being out there, boots on the ground, my brother, it was eye-opening.
It was hard, hard to see,
hard to watch. That was hard to be a part of. Because I remember a time when, like, it wasn't as wide open, right? Like, they'd be in a corner or they'd be off the alleyway. Like, they were right on Central. Like, it was the craziest shit I had ever seen.
And the cops actually did pull up on them.
Yeah. They would scatter, but then they'd come back.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's like not, I mean, you got a lot behind that, right? You have more people than 2 cops can deal with. You have people who probably are, maybe just high at that point because they just shot up or whatever. And then you have this, like, where did obviously there was a dealer somewhere in the mix, and usually there's some trafficking involved. But I just want to acknowledge, though, just for a second, how I think all of our families, we know someone who's been affected by addiction.
For sure.
And, we know people who've died from addiction. And this has been, like, New Mexico's a tough town. This is a raw place. And this issue certainly has gotten worse with fentanyl. Definitely. And so it was one of those things where I feel like it was something we always struggled with, right?
Yeah.
And now, like, it's like if you're not good at something and then somebody makes you do it more, but you just get worse. I mean, there's something in
at
there
a better price, at $1.
Yeah, it's like that's why I think that's why it hits us worse than even other cities, right? It was already a vulnerability. It was already a weakness. So, and then because one thing about Mayor that is interesting is, like, I spend a lot of time on our streets. And because I do ride-alongs with those guys at midnight. I actually one of the things I learned the most from is I just do it's like mystery shopping, but it's on serious city issues. I'll pop into whether it's our shelters or we'll go visit the International District at midnight on Saturday. Or I'm at a concert.
War zone, just in case you guys are wondering.
Yeah. Or I'm at a concert downtown, and I'm actually just leaving the concert at 1 a.m. So anyway, but I see what you see. I mean, it is something that is eating away the core of our city, and I do know it is. It's happening in other cities too. But it goes back to what you were saying. So look, there's certainly a component of law enforcement, but there's also a component of what is the answer for those folks? Yeah. Is it to leave them and let that happen? No, of course not, right?
That's somebody's brother. That's somebody's dad. That's somebody's sister. That's somebody's mom, bro. You might not see them as, like, a person because of how they are and where you are in your life. Yeah. You're just seeing them as an inconvenience. And I'll be the first to say, like, having to shop or go somewhere and have, like, that prevalent there, having to think twice before, I don't know if I should go over there because it might be like this.
Yeah, at the end of the day, looking around, watching where you park.
Still, at the end of the day, regardless of all that, that's someone's mom, that's someone's son, that's someone's daughter, right? So I agree with you. Leave them there, like, let it happen. Like, there's so many times in my life that if I would have left them there and I would have let it happen, they would have overdosed and died. Right,
92 people die on our streets from overdose every year, or last year.
92.
Yeah.
Did you say every day?
No, year.
In the year.
Oh, I was like,
that
that's crazy.
Yeah, and that's what we know about. I mean,
that's still way too much.
Yeah, totally.
Like it.
I mean, that's what, like, if you think about, so the homicide rate, is historically has been around that same number, but basically it's like just as many people die from overdoses as we do from shootings. Like, that is, I mean, both of those are terrible things, and that's why we have to address this in such a layered approach, right?
It's not one bandage, and I agree with you in you saying that addiction, for some reason, I don't know what. I would love to do my research and try and find where this happened, but I know it's in a lot of cities and a lot of states, right? But there's something about ours that is a little different than I've seen other places. Mm-hmm. It seems like it runs deeper with us.
I mean, we know we have intergenerational challenges with narcotics and drugs that, and we know also, I mean, I don't want to, like, dork out on history, but, I love our state and I love our state's history. And, like, I think many people would argue it's also like intergenerational trauma that goes back to things like even statehood challenges people went through in that era. Like people's grandparents and things have all sorts of, the original conquest for the indigenous community. I mean, this is the story of our city is resilience, but over like hundreds of generations, if you go back to, indigenous communities. But the other side of resilience, right? That means you've been through a lot of bad stuff.
100%.
Right? And you've survived. But like part of that equals trauma. That's like the equation for trauma.
I agree with you. And I look at it that way. I look at it the same way too. Like when you look at how our state was formed, right? There was a lot of fighting. There was fighting is a tame word. Actually, it's not strong enough. There was a lot of blood spilled for us to be where we are right now, right? Like I look at my lineage, right? Like I did the genealogy test and stuff like that, and I'm like about 69% Spaniard and the rest indigenous, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
My lineage is at war with itself, right? Like I come from the people that were conquistadors and the people that were here already before that, right? So it's this inner turmoil. It's this inner trauma that's in a lot of us down here, right? That we don't even realize. Like we're constantly looking for an escape. Like I've been an addict. I've been addicted to multiple things, right? Luckily, I was always able to walk up to that ledge and not completely jump off, right? But when I drink, for example, like I can drink chilling, but like usually if I drink, we're drinking. Like we're drinking. I don't drink to just like kind of chill. Let's just have a couple drinks. Now a little bit as I've gotten older, I'm not even really drinking at all now. But when my 40th birthday, for example, I could have took it easy. Hell no. I went hammer time.
That's because you're 40th.
True. But that's usually how I do. Like I can't just have a couple. Like I go all in. I don't drink to just relax and like socialize. I drink to get obliterated. And I've noticed a lot of my cousins, a lot of my uncles, a lot of my friends do the same type of pattern, right? So I think it does. It goes back to trauma for years. But on the flip side of that, we're fucking resilient, right? We're a strong people because we're built off of culture that's still so alive. I go to other cities and they have, better ways to get around the city. They have some bigger attractions. But you know what a lot of those cities are missing? Culture.
Flavor.
There's no flavor to it.
I remember when I was growing up here, I didn't, as a high schooler, really appreciate that. But every year I was gone, I understood New Mexico better. And also it like called me back, and it's because of that, right? This is the most unique place in America. And it is because of our culture. And that culture is a reflection of our resilience.
It is.
And the fact that even though a lot of these cultures have been tried to be erased by one of the other cultures, like we still have them.
But it ended up intertwining completely. That's why our food's so different. That's why even our language is so different. Like one culture tried to take over the other one and erase one, but it didn't work. Both of the cultures were so resilient that what ended up happening is it completely twisted together. And now it's like in a knot, right, with each other. And that's why we're so different. Because you have people that'll come up from like Mexico and it's like, well, why are you saying the words like that? Like that's not how we say it. Like I'll never forget.
It's like Cervantean Spanish up north.
Exactly. And I'll never forget the first time I was in probably like 8th grade, and my Spanish teacher. Again, my Spanish is absolute shit. I can understand.
We can converse then.
Absolute shit, right? But when I was in Spanish class, like my teacher was like, she wanted me to say the word for rag, right? And I can't remember what the proper term was, but we always called it a trapo, right? My nana would be like, mijo, give me the trapo, right? And I told her, and she's like, where did you hear that word? I'm like, that's the only word for rag. I don't know what to tell you. What happened, and this is me doing, again, nerding out on the history because now New Mexico, it's always been a huge part of who I was. Now I've twisted it so deep and ingrained, if I don't do the research, then what the hell am I doing all this for?
Yeah,
right?
Part of it's self-discovery.
100%. Like, I had no idea that the reason why our language was saved and why our culture is what it was is because most of our people dipped from Mexico and they came up here, up north and down southern Colorado, and the mountains saved us from all the outside shit, right? We weren't indoctrinated with the outside world, and our culture and our ways were able to be sustained, right? Like, you had people that they didn't have nothing in these little towns, so they had to share with each other, right? They had to, like, oh, you got corn? Dope, bro. I got masa, right? Oh, you got, everybody in the community had to work together. And I feel we're losing that. We're losing sight of what built us in the first place. Being able to go to your neighbor and be like, hey, I know your mom's a curandera. My hita's sick, right? She's got a cold. Can you come help, right? That's like going to the doctor, bro. Yeah. We're so disconnected from our neighbors now and the people that we live right next to, that a fundamental piece of what makes New Mexico, what makes Burque, what makes Cruces, is slowly drifting away. And that's a big part of how we survived, bro, is together, my dog. Like, we're not gonna get out of this shit alone. We ain't gonna get out of this shit pointing the finger at Jay. Jay, this is your responsibility, bro. Why ain't you doing shit? Right? Like Mayor, what do you like?
Save the city.
Blame Jay.
Yeah. We're not gonna get anywhere unless we do this shit together. That's just my 2 cents on it. And it goes back to our history, how we survived. We survived by being there for each other and taking care of each other.
Lending that hand.
Lending that helping hand.
I think you see this, like, I used to work for a long time. I worked for tribes all around the country, but also here in New Mexico. And I was just like doing like business finance stuff. But actually, I was stocking gas stations, which is a whole other story. Because like they want to make money at the gas stations, and I'd just be like, you got to have Doritos up front. Seriously, like this is like. So I spent a lot of time at gas stations, and my point is this. You still see this in different ways. So like if you look, I think it exists. And I totally agree with you. We need more of it, especially in Albuquerque. But like if you go to a convenience store or like gas station, whatever you want to call it, in a lot of rural places in New Mexico, it's the only place left where a community gathers. Now that's not like a good thing. Like it used to be church, or it used to be, Kiwanis Club or whatever, but it still exists. And what you see there is people actually finding each other to help. That's where they meet. That's where they say like, oh, I need some help, whatever, even for like home repairs, like people looking for work and people interested in work, or people just catching up over a cup of coffee. It still happens. So like, even though it's on the decline, it also to me shows like the strength. It's like, you know what, like we don't have anywhere to go anymore. There's no grocery store. There's no restaurants in our town. We are going to find a place to meet and catch up with each other's family. And I do think, I mean, and that kind of thing is still with us. And I think that also is part of the resilience. Like, I believe it's not going to die. Like we're going to keep it going no matter what. And we'll see. But I'm with you on how everything has changed like that. But that's why I find it so refreshing. Also, like sometimes I rarely leave the city, like, cause and man, but like I'll go out around rural New Mexico and even visit actually for feast days and things. And it's like, man, like I'm just saying, don't forget, like Albuquerque has its challenges. But you know what has like kind of our back in a funny way? Like New Mexico. Like,
1,000%.
That's what saved Albuquerque, is the fact we're in the middle of New Mexico.
For sure. Like I go when I get out of Albuquerque too, like they're like, man, y'all wilding out. Like they still care about us. We're like the little brother or the big brother that's somehow always getting into shit.
Totally.
Right? And we need the rest of our family to be like, hey, bruh, you're tripping. Dude, you're wilding out a little bit. Bring it down. You're up here, my dude. Like you need to like be down here, bro. And I see it. The rest of the state's like, man, like they do have our back. And I feel like that's why when people ask me where I'm from, right? I tell them New Mexico specifically, because I was born here and I was raised in San Fidel, Grants, and Albuquerque.
Oh, yeah.
All three of the places, right? So I got to experience small town Spanish land grant, right?
Yeah.
With fucking country shit. I got to experience like Friday Night Lights, Varsity Blues, small town grants type shit.
Yeah.
And I got to experience the big city, which Albuquerque's a big city, but it's really a big town, dog. New Mexico's full of a bunch of big and little towns. It's all intertwined, right? So when someone asks me where I'm from, that's why I specifically say New Mexico, because it's the entire state. I feel like we take our culture from the top to the middle to the bottom, because they make chili different up in Raton than they do in Cruces, right? And we're a small state, but it's still so different, bro. And I don't think it's gonna die either. I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that's a part of who we are. We're just in a situation right now where we need to look to each other, right?
Yeah.
We need to be more grown. It's time to put the I wanna be cool. That's my only objective. We bring it all the way back. It's time to put that down, right? That shit's not fucking cool, bruh. There is nothing cool about a fucking 55-year-old that just cares about being cool, right? We have to come together as a community and know who your neighbor is, right? Because if you know who your neighbor is, you see somebody out the street that you know, they're not just gonna be another number. They're not just gonna be, oh, it's cool, leave them there. Like, yo, that's, that's the homie. Like, that's the homie's dad. Like, is he cool? Like, you good, bro? Like, you need some help. At the end of the day, that's the thread, right? Like, you need some help. If someone needs some help and you're able to provide it, then you should.
So actually, on that note, so when somebody is ready to, get clean or maybe try to find housing, where can we direct them?
So there are, the first thing would be, we actually built an office for the community safety department. So like one thing is you can just go there. It has a walk-in lobby and they will have that conversation with you tailored to you. Now, wonderfully, the faith community and the nonprofit community, they're also ramping up fast. So there are a lot of places like under his construction. And there's a lot that are now adding more and more beds. So that's like Summit House, I think is another. So like the good news is like the community in some ways is stepping up because everyone sees this, right? And so, but to find the best place, we always say that it's very hard unless you can make that choice to leave the particular street situation. It could even be your dealer or the people you're using with, to leave that, to have that conversation. So that is why we do suggest like the community safety department calling them. You can do that in that case through 311 and say, I'd like to have a conversation with the community safety department. Can they send someone who can help me like think through what I can do with addiction? That's totally fine to do. And they can do that. And they will go to your house. They'll go to your friend's house where you're living, whatever it is. But it's kind of a little bit like what you were saying, but like there is a physical separation because it's hard. If you know you're an hour away from that next piece of fentanyl, you're going to say no to services. Yep. So that is why, like, so anywhere besides right with the crew that you're using or dealing with, that is like the first thing, or like just find a way to get away from that. Or if you have family members who are involved in that, pick the one time when they're not there. And then try and get them help through those means. So that'd be like the simplest way, either phone or by office. And so, but there's also a lot. So first step is just 311 it or show up at the community safety departments on San Mateo and Gibson.
That's the fact that you got to catch it right in the right time. You got to time it. I've seen it. I know. I've seen it. If you can talk to them when they're not worried about the next high in the next like 35 minutes. Yeah. That's really the only time. I mean, I know they're high, but that's the only time that you can like not talk sense into them, but have some sort of like a sense, like a conversation about this is fucked up, bro. Like you're in a bad situation. You need to get out of this. Because when they're right next to that next fix, they ain't gonna listen to shit. Because they're starting to feel sick. And that's where they're gonna wanna go. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I definitely don't want to take up all of your time because I know you're on the campaign trail, but I got one more question for you, my brother.
Yeah,
before we
sure,
let you out of here.
We talk. You said San Fidel. That's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah. You know, there's all those towns around there named like New York and Paris.
It's crazy.
That's funny.
So
I'm not kidding. There's like a Paris, New Mexico.
What's crazy about San Fidel is like it's Spanish land grant, right? So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
But right in
because
between two pueblos.
That's why I'm telling you, I got it. Okay, so interesting. I'm going to keep you a long time. Bro, clear your schedule.
We got
dog.
a little
Bro.
more time.
Clear your schedule,
There's
dog.
a woman named Dolores Huerta.
Yes.
I got to introduce in a little bit.
Okay, so
but we got a little more time.
that's where I was born here, and then I lived my grandpa owned a bar out there called Ray's Bar, right? So Spanish land grant, and you have Acoma, you have Laguna, and then you have Cebolleta, Cubero. So it's a bunch of pueblos mixed in with a bunch of Spanish land grant, right? So when I first got on the bus, right, the bus came from fucking Acoma and picked up my little fucking Spanish ass, right? Got on the bus, and it's interesting because I was like probably first grade, and the bus had to take me to Grants, right? So I'm first grade, and I get home, and my mom's like, "Mijo," she's cooking. She's like, "Mijo, how was your first day of school?" And I was like, "Mom, I made a whole bunch of friends. Like everybody wanted to they gave me a nickname even." And my mom's like, "Oh," she's cooking, and I'm like, she's like, "Oh, that's nice, Mijo. What's your nickname?" And I was like, everybody on the bus was calling me Spick, and my mom went, "What?" And she went on the bus and made it worse, right? Because I was the only Chicano dude mixed in with all my native brothers and sisters, right? And we were fighting some shit that I didn't know that there was a fight, right? I didn't know that it was different until that moment, right? Then I knew, oh shit, there's a problem here. The difference is my native brothers and sisters have less Spaniard blood, right? They have more indigenous blood than I do. I have more Spaniard blood. But for some reason, that same fucking war still was hitting, right? And now, bro, I'm 40, bro. Some of my, I've went to war with some of my native brothers and sisters standing right there back to back bleeding together, right? But as a kid, you don't understand that there's still this drama that's happening. And as I got older, I realized I'm in a Spanish land grant. The pueblo's right there. This is wild. They put us all right here to fucking tear each other to shreds. And some did and some didn't, right? We found a way to work together. Now, bro, I grew up at the feasts. I would go to Acoma, bro, every feast day. So the cultures, again, back to it. The cultures are so intertwined, we don't even realize it. I mean, I'll give you a serious example of this. You know, I always review to our culture as people are like, oh yeah, you have New Mexico has lots of historical scars. I'm like, they're not scars, they're scabs, and if you pick them, they bleed. And that's like the Oñate statues. So, you know, one of the hardest things I had to deal with was that in Albuquerque, but we also know it way worse in Santa Fe, right, with the obelisk, and then the one in Espanola that, you know, there was just a shooting on that 9 months ago. I know, I've seen that.
Yeah. And, you know, there was a shooting at ours, right, in Albuquerque. And so, but what is that, right? That's you have everything you just described, right? But it's adults, and some of them have guns. And there's thousands of people engaged in, you know, whatever protest or activity. So, you know, that's why it's it's a scab, man. And that's the thing. If you don't respect it and you don't take care of it, you're going to open it up and bleed all over the place. And that's literally what happened to us in 3 different cities in New Mexico, 2 years ago.
I couldn't agree.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more because I have seen it, right? I've seen it, closely acquainted with it. But the thing is, it's up to you to, again, this comes back to this is all personal, right? This is all you. It starts with yourself, then it starts with the community and how you're going to conduct yourself, right? Again, I'm going to sound like I'm quoting some shit, but if you don't learn from your history, then you're doomed to repeat it 100%, right? A lot of us don't realize that we are kind of one now. Not kind of one, we are. It's all intertwined. Every single part of it is together. And I think we should celebrate that instead of having this infighting of bullshit. It's bullshit. There's nothing we can do about it. It all happened, right? And it was fucking bloody, and it was holy shit. But the fact that we're all still here and we're all still together and we've built a culture with it all intertwined together is special. And I'll fight for it as long as I got breath in my lungs, bro.
Yeah.
I will.
I have to, on a somewhat lighter side, make fun of Anglos.
All right, this is perfect.
That's right. I mean,
Jay's conversation.
Oh, you just
I feel like I'm the punching bag. I'm the punching bag of the podcast.
You're not, bro. Jay likes making fun of Anglos.
Okay, all right. Well, like to me, the thing about this also is, then you get some, and obviously like myself, you get people trying to like pick sides on this. And one of my, I think, things about like New Mexico is like you watch Anglos fight over Oñate. Like, and it's like, you guys, like, and I don't have, my answer is like, why don't you just respect the culture? Like by doing that, I am not going to say who's right or wrong, and so, but I do, you get, or people, and we want Albuquerque to be welcoming for everyone. That's my preface to a shot at people who just moved here. But like they come here and like, oh, this and that, and that's right and that's wrong and all this, and I'm like, dude, you gotta just relax and learn a little bit about the history. That's like my only ask. And I think you saw in all the Oñate situations, you watch the often ridiculous comments that people make who have no basis for making them, and it's just
wild.
And which is also part of our story, right? Because like that's the Anglo invasion at statehood, and then in the 50s, which was when my parents came, that's left its mark too. And in this case, people try and jump in a fight they don't understand.
For sure. And I think back to that, it did leave its mark. Like I noticed, again, talking about the land and the places that were safe from being changed, right? So for example, my nana, right, she lived out in Cubero, right? There's one road in, one road out, bro. Untouched. You could still go there now and still feel
Is
like...
that where Bibo Bar is?
That's Cehueta. So it's right there.
Okay.
Right? They're right by each other, right over the mountain.
That's just a great bar as a side note. Excellent burger.
Hey,
shout outs.
Shout out to my uncle. Shout out to my uncle Calino.
He's a Michael.
Shout out to my uncle Calino, right?
One of the
They're all
Michaels, right?
Together, right? So I seen this as a kid. My nana always wanted us to learn our traditions, right? She was like, my tata Kiko was a penitente. So like, she ingrained our way of, like, my name's Johnny, so I'm a Juan, right? So anytime that the baby had ojo, right, which is bad eye, and the baby was crying and crying and crying, they'd bring them to me. I'd hold the baby, and crazy enough, the baby would stop crying. I don't know the correlation between being a Juan and a healer, but I guess it's some correlation, right? That goes back. That's years back in our culture, right? So my nana was, I wouldn't call her a curandera, but kind of, right? So switch sides to my maesta's side, right? So that's the Salazar, Valdez over there. Maesta's side is in Belen. Railroad. Highway. Deeply affected. Changed our culture completely. My grandma did not want us to speak Spanish because when she spoke Spanish in school out there, she was hit. They told them, no, that's not the way to do it. This is the way to do it. And they were naming their children a bunch of Anglo names, right? Our culture and our heritage was being washed away because it was being affected by the outside world, the railroad and the fucking highways right there. Cubero didn't have none of that, right? All these little towns, Cehueta, they don't have none of that. They're not affected by the outside world. So our culture was able to stay there and thrive. And it's still there. You go over there, it's still there. I'll be in Cehueta in a couple of weeks.
It's like, or wherever there was mining was the other thing, because the Anglos came with mines. So you see those cities, have a totally different flavor because of that. And, it's like, too, that I got to tell you, because... And we should probably change. This has become like the history. It is.
This is a history pod.
I'm not from around here.
Leonard's from Detroit. Listen.
Ooh, we could talk Detroit. My mom's from Detroit.
Oh, really?
Okay. And they have their mayor story is fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
But really quick, on Mayor Albuquerque, when I came into office, the mayor itself had been whitewashed. So I walk in and there's a wall of pictures and there's like, 6 people up there. And it's like, these are the mayors of Albuquerque. And I just remember being like, what? Like, we've been around a long time. I'm like, how's that possible? And then somebody's like, oh, well, you know, the modern form of government.
Right.
Which I know what they're talking about, like a strong mayor system. But, I mean, this is ridiculous. So actually we contracted with like a UNM professor and said, hey, can you actually like just understand so City Hall doesn't seem ridiculous, like what the story is here? We've had 86 mayors. And we had all call days.
Wow.
You know,
But it was just 6 of them, and I bet you they all had blue eyes, huh?
Well, no, because you had Marty Chavez, you had Jim Baca, you had Mayor Saavedra.
Yeah.
So I think
But they left everything else out.
Yeah, but all the guys in the first mayor was Jewish, actually. The first American mayor. So he was like 1889 or something like that.
It's because all the Jewish and Spaniard and
for
indigenous,
trading.
we all left from down deep in Mexico. We all came up together.
Yeah.
It was indigenous, it was Jewish people, and it was the Spaniards.
There you go.
I've been doing my research, brother.
You know your stuff. So anyway, we have it fixed, and there's a whole timeline. You can look up the All Call Days project. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, that even showed up in the simplest ways. Like, it was a ridiculous statement to walk out there and say the 8th mayor of Albuquerque. Like,
That's crazy.
yeah, and that's what I was introduced as.
That's
I took an
crazy.
my oath of office as the 8th mayor of Albuquerque.
It's
just crazy.
Out of all
So
the
now it
stuff
doesn't.
we've talked
Yeah.
about, me even brushing on racism, that's the craziest shit we've said the entire pod. That's insane that they introduced you that way. That is so wild.
Not
bro.
anymore.
Yeah.
So it's 31st mayor and 80 something elected or chosen leader, because all call days were picked by the archbishop or something.
Right there's a perfect way for me to ask. So if you get in again, my brother, if you're reelected, what is like what's your first plan of attack? What's the first thing you want to jump in and just sink your teeth into?
Well, we have, we'll do the Detroit podcast later. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. It's going to be cool. So I would touch on a few things. One is like, look, that crime fighting technology platform, I want it over the whole city. We all deserve that kind of safety. So like, that's one thing. We got to finish the gateway system and add hundreds of more beds where people can get help. And then I want to actually like that giant skyscraper on San Mateo and Central. I mean, we just approved the building permit, but it's like, I want to see construction, you know, and then we got to finish construction, right? But then there's other massive, like, to get back to this is going to take a minute, but I want to take it back to your building community. Our city was built, the modern Albuquerque, like in the 50s, was built in the most ridiculous way, where we don't have hubs, like where we come together as neighbors. And actually, I've been making this argument now for several years, because that's one of the problems with Albuquerque is we are built where we all have to go get in a car and we have to go drive to Coronado Mall to feel like community or something like that.
Man, I'm gonna go over there after the pod.
I know. I actually dreamt about Coronado Mall last night, and I was on the wrong level. Like, I was like trying to find Tilt or something. And I was like, where is it? Where is it?
Man.
It was just down the stairs.
Hey, let's petition to bring back
That was my
Tilt.
dream last night.
Let's petition to bring it back, not to skew too far.
Is it gone?
It's gone. It's been gone.
Lids and Tilt. Yeah, they were always right across
Lid's
from
still
each
there,
other.
but no
Lids.
Tilt.
Yeah.
I think actually the games are coming back. But anyway, so so what I'm trying to do is build these neighborhood hubs where we can live, work, and play. So if you go to like 7th and Central, you see that. You see Ex Novo, you see an awesome hotel, you see Curious Toast, there's a speakeasy under the El Rey, and it's authentically Albuquerque, but it is safe and it's vibrant. So I want to have like dozens of those, basically. But they come in different flavors. And I actually always pick on this area because you did say we're at Marble. I actually, sometimes at the city, we have them, they just look a little more like urban and generic, but they're here. This little like Wantabo and Montgomery-ish area, I think is one of those areas.
I agree.
Oh, yeah.
The bridges like on Tramway, that's one of those areas. Green Jeans and Tin Can Alley.
Yeah.
But then we have other ones that are more like city curated. So that's like Winrock and what they're doing at the town village. So like, it's my daughter's favorite park. If you haven't seen anything, by the way, there's like a waterfall and ponds in the middle of Winrock now, where we used to get,
It's
you know,
super
Sabaro's pizza.
It's super dope. Everything they've done there now that like it's like opening, and then you have the comedy club right there.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
see
right.
it.
Yeah.
I see.
So
your
this is
vision.
what
I
I'm
see
trying to
what you're-
build all over the
see what
city.
you're talking about.
West side, we've got Nuevo Atrisco, which it's under kind of a 2.0 version, but there's an awesome food truck area with like, you know, cornhole and everything. And so we've got to build dozens of these neighborhood hubs to make this the kind of community that actually interacts and talks with each other. So we have those in progress, and some of them are things even like stadiums, like the United Stadium, and the rail yards. We're putting the C&M Film Academy in the rail yards, and then we're going to hope that we can get like restaurants and different things around there. So these are projects, and the last one's the rail trail, which is this like, I'll just bring it full circle because we opened it yesterday. We finally opened one piece of it, but cities have these, like the Joe Louis Trail in Detroit. Yeah. There's all these pedestrian parkways now in cities, and people love it because you can safely like commute or walk to work on your bike. But then on the weekends, it's fun and there's restaurants and everything. We're building one here, so it's called the Rail Trail, and it's a 7-mile loop that connects downtown and Old Town over to the Bosque, over to the Hispanic Cultural Center. And weirdly, the actual map is shaped like a heart, so it's like the heart of the city.
How are you going to travel?
Cool.
What was that?
How are you going to travel it?
So by bike or by foot. And it's on old railroad tracks. That's why it's called the Rail Trail.
It kind of reminds me of what Austin did with their downtown, with all the runners down there. It's all connected. They're all running around.
That's exactly what we're doing. And then we want to actually have, then eventually you'll have a network so you can come in from like the North Valley or the South Valley in on a trail, get on the rail trail, and then go to like where you want to go. So we just finished phase 1 of this that connects Teague Park to Sawmill, which Sawmill, another example of like a hub where people go. Yeah, so you can check it out.
Wow, that's cool.
And the story, this rail trail, it's a 7-mile loop, and the guy who designed it, he designed it to tell the story of us. So through art, it is going to touch on like everything we talked about. There's stations that talk about the coming of the railroad. There's stations that talk about, conquest and reconquest. There's stations that talk about indigenous trade. There's like 12 different stations because it's like train stations, and but it's through art. So all these like local artists and everything are designing this. So if you go to the Sawmill, you see these arches that reflect saw blades because of the sawmill. And then there's a flamenco one because the Flamenco Institute's down there, and it's also Old Town, which is like a nod to our Spanish heritage. It is so awesome. So this project,
sounds pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, I got to tell you, it is going to be. It's of the scale. Every New Mexican will know about it when it's done. Now it's probably going to take like 10 years, but if I can get a third of it done, awesome.
You'll feel like you did your job.
Yeah. So those are some of the things on day one that are in the queue.
It really, to me, sounds like I love the fact that we accidentally ended up getting there. It's all based on building our community how we've always been together as one, as a unit, helping each other. That sounds, again, we accidentally got there. This wasn't pre-recorded or premeditated. We accidentally landed on what the actual issue seems to be, is we're losing that sense of community, and that's always been our identity. And again, I'm going to fight for that until there's fucking no lungs in there's no breath in my lungs, or lungs in my breath, however you want to say it.
That's what I do appreciate, because you guys do celebrate New Mexico at the end of the day.
Oh, I love it.
And also, I love a good laugh. There's nothing,
it's in my DNA.
Even the gym water, I saw that one. And I was like, for me, it's the hose water. Like the hose water in front of my parents' house tastes like pine needles. And I always love that water. And then I was with my kids and I was like, kids, we're going to go try Granny's hose water.
They're probably like, ugh, Dad,
and
what?
they're like, this is disgusting. And then I had it too. I was like, this is disgusting. It tastes like rubber hose.
I figured it out. It tastes like the air from the inside of an air mattress. That's what a hose, the water tastes like, right?
It does.
That's why
You
COVID
crushed
couldn't.
it. You nailed
that's
it.
why COVID couldn't fuck with me, because I grew up drinking water from the manguera, brother, or straight out of the well. We wouldn't even have the hose on. I'd turn on the well water and just drink that shit, right? Straight, bro. Cold. Had minerals, probably a little dirt, but whatever, dog. Whatever, bro. I'm still here. I'm 40 and I'm thriving, dog.
You got good teeth.
I got good teeth. They're all my teeth too. There's no fake up in here. I go to my dentist. My dentist is like, oh yeah, you still got all your teeth, and I'm planning on keeping all those teeth. Mayor, my brother, I know we've kept you longer than you were supposed to stay. This was fun, my dude. I felt at first I was in the principal's office, and now I feel like I'm just like kicking it with one of the homies. We're gonna go listen to Metallica afterwards, right?
All right.
This is about to be fire. My brother, thank you so much for coming on our platform. Yeah. I wish you the best, and I wish the best for our city and our community and our state, my brother.
Well put. Thank you for having me on.
Of
Thank you
course,
for all you do
bro.
for our city and our state.
Until
Appreciate
next time. Respect the
Detroit
Connect.
podcast.
Until the Detroit. Hey, round 2, right?
No, yeah, we're
Totally,
gonna come
man.
back and we're
Detroit's
gonna talk about
has all
Coleman
sorts
Young.
of.
I'm gonna have to do
Yeah.
my Detroit history
I
now
was
too.
gonna ask you about that.
Wait, hold on. Before we get
man,
out of here,
it's-
ask him one
that's a
Detroit
great
question.
Well,
I mean-
that was my only question. Was Coleman Young was a longtime mayor, and he was the mayor the whole time I was a kid. And one of the things that I've noticed you're doing is you're sequentially like trying to stay in that position. And I think you already kind of touched on it, but what would be like the long-term vision, the 20 and 30-year vision? Because we always felt like Coleman Young was going to be the mayor forever. You know what I mean? And if Tim
That's what you thought about Marty Chavez.
yeah, well, yeah. It seemed like it.
Yeah.
But I think when someone has a big personality like that and they have a big vision for the city, I think that's beneficial because it helps people have something else to latch onto rather than just the problems which kind of come and go. So
Yeah.
it sounds like you already have a vision for it. So I mean, just keep that up and keep broadening it, I would say, because the bigger the vision is, the more people will rise to the occasion to meet it.
I love that.
That was that was
Bro.
2 perfect ways to get out of here. We're gonna mic drop this before we say some stupid shit and fuck it up, right? Until next time, respect the Connect. Peace.
Yeah.
It's Piccadilly.